Hi there, welcome to this small little corner of YouTube. You can call me Bunny or Apollo if you would rather. I plan on using my channel a little more frequently, I hope. One of the things I wanted to start doing is reviews of stuff I really like. One of those things being a show that I think deserves to be talked about more. I'll be joined by a co-host who helped writing the script and who also drew the stills for this video. So, dear viewer, you probably stumbled upon this video randomly. Maybe not. But regardless of how you found this video, we are here to talk to you today about a show that we both personally think needs more eyes on it, and that is Grimsburg. This video will include multiple sections. Part 1 will include a brief rundown of the series. Part 2 will consist of a little list of pros and cons and why we think you should watch the show. Part 3 will go over some reviews that we and other fans have written, and we will end it off with what the future holds, such as some Season 2 news, and a conclusion. Really hope you stick around till the end. So, what even is this show, and why are we passionate enough to make a little review video on it? Grimsburg is one of Fox's newest animation programs, which is part of Annie Dom's blog, and it aired on January 7th, 2024, although it was supposed to originally air in 2023, and the show got picked up for a second season way before its premiere, all the way back in 2022. The show follows Detective Marvin Flute, who is actually voiced by John Hamm, who you may recognize from both animated and non-animated roles, as he's brought back to the town of Grimsburg after running off for multiple years. Now, Marvin has been described as, quote, the greatest detective of all time, or at least in Grimsburg's case. The fact that he's able to crack any case that comes his way. However, he and his family seem to be the only case he can't crack. The show was created by Catalan McLennan and Matthew Shizzle. I might be butchering these names, I am terribly sorry. As stated, the show premiered on January 7, 2024, but did not air the rest of its season throughout until February 18th, 2024, up until May 12th, 2024. At the scene of the crime, this is where we get introduced to Greg Summers, who is going to be Marvin's partner throughout the season. Greg Summers is a cyborg who lost exactly 74.2% of his body in a merry-go-round freak accident. Now you might notice, whenever Marvin gets deep in a case, he goes into something he likes to call his quote-unquote crime mind. This is something that I found really funny, but also wow, this seems to actually help him. They don't call him Grimsburg's greatest detective for nothing. Throughout the rest of the pilot, we get introduced to more main characters who will be appearing throughout the season. That being Chief Patsy Stamos, Winona Whitecloud, Harmony, who is Marvin's ex-wife, Stan, who is Marvin's son, and Dr. Rufus Pentos, who actually used to be Marvin's mentor turned biggest nemesis. Nemesi. Remind him to ask him, now, dear viewer, why should you watch this show that we're so passionate about? Well, I don't have any interest in it. It didn't interest me when I watched the pilot or something like that. I think anybody could enjoy Grimsburg if they give it a shot, and I mean a real shot, not just one and done with the pilot. If you usually aren't a fan of mystery slash detective theme shows, there is something for everyone to enjoy, I can assure you. All the characters are pretty likable. The villains' names as well as the designs are fitting and very creative. Plus, in my opinion, each episode is a blast. Season 1's finale had a really good twist that you will not see coming. Take it from the two of us, plus from the folks whose reviews will be later shown in this video. Unlike a majority, we've watched past the first episode. So if anybody has the rights to the quote-unquote first Grimsburg review, it's us. Lighthearted jokes aside, why don't we talk about some pros and cons?
Some pros about this show include the following. There is never really a dull moment in that the story is pretty consistent. The show's humor is really good, and it's not just a bunch of potty humor. Unlike some shows that seem to rely on that form of humor alone, most of the action shots are animated really well, and the backgrounds are beautiful. Each character have unique personalities and are lovable in their own way. Marvin Flute. Oh no, he's hot! We don't have many cons as the show gets better as each new episode airs, but some cons about the show may include the following. A little warning for those who aren't fond of that stuff. There are some gruesome murdering scenes, gore scenes. Some of the episodes are possibly out of order due to issues with the broadcasting. It was revealed on the Grimsburg Reddit that episode 11 is actually episode 2. The fandom is still pretty new and small, but we exist and all hang out in the official Grimsburg server. Both of us run it along with another friend of ours. You should totally join if you're a fan, or if this video helps you become a fan. The link will be below.
I'd like to take a moment to show off reviews from Cord, myself, and multiple other fans of the show, most of which we have met because of being into the show.
The show Grimsburg has become one of my favorite shows as of now. The humor in Grimsburg is amazing, and that's what I personally like to see in a show. If a show can make me laugh and smile, it's almost automatically a good show in my books. The characters are awesome. I genuinely love how diverse and unique each and every character is in the show. From Marvin's wannabe stoic but goofy demeanor to Pentos's mysterious, wacky, and very fruity nature. Now I want to get into the reason why I personally love this show and why it has stuck to me. The reason is because it has given me the opportunity to bond with other fans of the show and see the bit of fan art that these people have created. I never would have gotten into the show if it weren't for the person who introduced me to the show in the first place, who is the host of this whole review video, and he also happens to be my partner. I am honestly so in love with all the memes, inside jokes, and artworks that were made because of Grimsburg. I am very much looking forward to seeing the new season.
Grimsburg is one of the shows that I fell in love with as soon as I began watching it. I have been a fan of previous mystery solving shows and tunes before, such as Scooby Doo and Gravity Falls, for example. Usually it takes a lot for me to stick with the show, but this time it was different. The story and season's one finale kept me hooked through each and every episode. The main character, Marvin, shows a lot of character growth and development through the first season, in my opinion. I have also met some great people who I consider friends within the fandom and have introduced more people I already knew to the show. My co host, who is my current partner, was the first one I introduced to the show. The amount of inside jokes, memes, alternate universe, and lore stuff we've made together is something that will stick with me forever. The show has truly become something very special to me, and I hope we at least get a third season, if not more, of course. I even created the quote unquote official Grimsburg Discord that was mentioned earlier to help bring folks together. The season 2 info that is going to be later shown in this video even got shared there firsthand. Before we move on to part 4, I would like to take a moment to show off the other reviews that folks have written, all of which I am honored to call my friends, having met through being a fan of this show and introducing to this show. As of currently recording, the show is set to return February 16th, 2025, presumably at the time slot of 8:30. It is set to air for another 13 episodes, same as season 1. As for what's to come in the future season, we have multiple statements and teasers. Some state what the show will be shooting for in the upcoming season, like stated in an article from Screen Rant that says, quote, in season 2, we get a lot less of the desire to have that overarching story, and the show kind of becomes more of an office comedy in some ways. So it's less about the big picture and more about the unique little fun stories that we can get, and what kind of capers happen in Grimsburg, and what kind of interactions do the new chief and Flute and Kang and everybody have together, and what sort of scrapes do they get into. The writers are really having a lot more fun with that. Once they were freed up from having to make sure there was some kind of overarching thing, which like I said, we wanted for the first season. Season 2 will consist of multiple new guest stars to play off the main cast. According to an article from Variety, these new guest stars include Tina Fey, J.K. Simmons, who you might know as Ford from Gravity Falls, Anna Osceola, Joel McHale, Tom Segura, Danny Trejo, and Martin Short, who you might know as one of the main guest stars in Hulu's Only Murders in the Building, which has also become another personal favorite show of mine. According to Annie Dom's Twitter, Martin will be playing Otis Volkanowitz, Grimsburg's newest and youngest kid detective, and his character is said to be a recurring role throughout the show's second season. J.K. Simmons is set to play as Marvin's dad, Mitchell, and according to this little convention clip,
like I said, we're going to get a chance to meet Flute's dad and his brother. We find out that Flute's dad is a version of Michael Knight, and that therefore his brother is Kid.
We will also be apparently meeting Marvin's brother, which I am very excited to see how this dynamic plays out. I noticed a lack of mention of Marvin's mom. I do wonder what happened with her, and if we will get an answer in season 2. Tina Fey will be playing herself. Anna Osceola will be playing someone called Bridget. Joe McHale will be playing someone called Junior. I wonder if that is Marvin's brother, but I am unsure. Tom Segura is playing someone called Buddy, and Danny Trejo is playing someone called Tino. But wait just a minute, Bunny, you say. What's this about a new detective? So Otis is, as stated by the same article by Variety, is Grimsburg's newest and also their youngest detective. Fortunately, there is nothing the mean streets of this town could throw at him that's scarier than what he's seen in the third grade cubbies. Otis has had to prove that it was his skills as a kid detective that got him this job, not because he's, quote, a Nepo baby whose wealthy parents happen to be the mayor's biggest donators and the owners of this town's wildly profitable active volcano dump. That is something I am quite curious about, actually. As previously mentioned, starting February 16th, this is when Season 2 is set to start. The first episode is titled Haunted Housewife, and the plot is very interesting, in my opinion. The plot is as follows, quote, Harmony pushes Marvin to move out, resulting in him moving into a house haunted by a doting housewife. Things soon go awry when Marvin invites everyone for an adult party at his house, and Marvin's disregard of the ghost prompts her to threaten their lives. I, for one, am very excited to see where this goes. So, in conclusion, we hope that this little review video has piqued your interest enough that you'll give the show a shot. We both really think that this fandom can grow into something wonderful and would love to get even more fans to discuss theories and episodes with, show fan art, and more. So, dear viewer, are you ready to step into the world of Grimsburg? Ready to use your own crime line? Come join us in the town of Grimsburg. We hope to see you there. Just don't get murdered, please.